Okay guys, back almost immediately after my last video. Hope you liked my first one. If you saw it, if not, check it out. This is my second video in the Fable series. As I said before, I'm gonna look at Fable 2, and like I said in my first video, Fable 1's how they got it right. Fable 2 is how they got it wrong. I mean, Fable 1 sets the theme and it keeps it with its story. It's beautifully done. It's the story of the choices you make influence the person you are. And even though each person sort of arrives at the same destination, the final battle between Jack, there are different ways to both come to that fight and then what happens after that fight. With Fable 2, it's just done terribly. I mean, the story, it's set up well enough. It's set up similar to the first game. It's a compelling story. Um, what you do in the second game is a very interesting parallel between what you did in the first game. It's very powerful. But I felt the entire game was ruined um, by its ending. Its ending is so anticlimactic. It's one of those few games I set the controller down and I left the room because I was just so angry with what I just saw, what I just played, and then how it ended. I didn't want to hurt my controller because those are expensive, so I just put the controller down and I left the room. I'm like, no, 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 no. I did the same thing with Mass Effect 3, but that's another video for another time. So we're just going to focus on Fable 2. I'm going to do this video, and then I'm going to try to do Fable 3 before I go to sleep, but I'm probably going to wait till tomorrow to do that one. So in Fable 2, um, it's set about 500 years after the events of Fable 1. The Heroes Guild has been destroyed. After you defeated Jack, sort of the primeval, like the Heroes Guild kind of fell back in terms of being needed, and so a lot of the heroes grew arrogant and abused their power. You know, try to bully the citizens around. Citizens didn't like that, so they rose up against the Heroes Guild. Heroes Guild was destroyed. So this is an age. I would say it's more of not enlightenment, but more of a age of that where Albion itself is trying to find exactly where it wants to go. It's sort of like right before the industrial age. So, and then it sets up the third game because the third game is during the industrial age, which is sort of a few years after it. But again, don't want to get far ahead of myself. The main character. This is the first time you can choose to be either a boy or a girl. Very interesting choice. I played as both. It doesn't really change the game. It really just changes if not necessarily who you marry, because a lot of people are bisexual. You can marry them anyways. You and your sister's the constant character. Even if you change between a boy or a girl, it's always a sister. Are orphans in the streets of Bowerstone. Bowerstone is kind of the major city of Albion, not an official capital, but certainly big enough to be considered one. And you find this vendor. He's kind of selling stupid junk, junk like the mirror of eternal beauty. If you look into it, you shall forever look young and beautiful. And he explains, you can only look at it in complete darkness. It's kind of it's junk is not real, but there's a sucker who's gonna buy it. And then he explains this music box. The music box is a device of the ancient world. He's talking about ancient Albion, a civilization that got wiped out long ago, and not necessarily know why it was, but it's gone now. He explains that you turn the knob and you make a wish, and the magic in the box will make the wish come true. Your sister kind of scoffs it off, but then this gypsy comes up and basically says it might be worth getting that box. So, your sister's kind of convinced. So, you, again, sort of replicating what you did in the first game. You have to do odd jobs to make money, and there are good and evil choices. There's a photographer who wants to advertise the photography. That's relatively new technology, and he asks you to make a pose. You can make a good or evil pose. There's this There's this one job where you can either kill the bugs in this one guy's warehouse or bust up his inventory. There's another one where you can find all the warrants for arrests for a lot of the criminals in the slums, and you can give them to the cop, or you can give them to this criminal guy, and he'll give you the gold piece you need. You also find a dog, and this is the first game where you have a dog as a constant companion. I mean, no matter what you do, this dog will be there, and the dog kind of reflects your moral alignment. So even if you don't, your dog will, at least that's how I saw it. So you get all the gold pieces you need. Either way, you buy the box, and both you and your sister say a wish, and your sister wants nothing more than to live in the castle of Bowerstone Castle. And you make the wish, you turn the knob, and the box starts flashing, but then it disappears, and your sister believes that you just wasted 3 gold pieces that you could, use to eat for a week. Um, you guys go to sleep. The dog follows you back home. Guards show up in the middle of the night and say that Lord Lucian, the guy who owns the castle, um, requests your presence. So you believe the magic block works. You go up to the castle, and Lord Lucian explains that he's looking for certain individuals to help him in an endeavor, and he believes that one or both of you are what he's looking for. He asks you to step on this platform, and the platform looks like the hero symbol. The hero symbol, you can look it up. It's on the hero's guild seal, and you step on it. A blue light kind of emanates from the stone. He explains that you two are heroes, that you have hero blood within you. He tries to enter the field, and then the field kind of turns red and rejects him, and he kind of freaks out a little bit. Your sister's now asking what's going on. He explains, kind of silent to himself, that you are not one of the 3 he's looking for, that one of you is the 4th, the one that's destined to stop whatever he's doing. So he pulls out a pistol, bam, shoots your sister. And he says, he's so sorry for this. And it does sound emotional. He didn't want to do this, but he's like, nothing will stand in my way. He shoots you, you get knocked out the window, fall probably around 50 feet. But it's explained later in the game that heroes are more durable, and you were the hero. The gypsy that talked to you earlier finds you with your dog and takes care of you, heals you, kind of trains you. And I don't know if it's explained at this point, but it's revealed it's Teresa. Teresa was the sister of the first hero in the first game. And she explains, just like before, with the first hero being a direct descendant of the first hero, you are the direct descendant of the greatest hero in Albion's history, the hero from the first Fable game. So, and she explains why she needs your help, why you need to be a hero. Lucian's ultimate plan is to find the 3 heroes, the heroes of strength, skill, and will. So unlike before in the first game where heroes could be a balance of all 3, only you are really the balance of strength, skill, and will, which are the 3 principal skills of a hero. He's looking for these 3 heroes to exemplify one of each key elements of being a hero, and he wants to activate the Spire. Teresa explains the Spire is a device of ultimate power. I mean, this thing is huge. It will go farther than the sky. And she explains that the first and only time it's ever been used before was by the last Archon. He walked in, he made a wish, and the next thing everyone knew, old Albion was gone. It was destroyed in a night. There was almost nothing left, and everyone had to rebuild from scratch. So, it explains right there, to make a wish on this thing, no matter whatever the intentions, it's possibly devastating to the world. So your journey becomes twofold. You have to stop Lucian from making the wish on the Spire, to make sure that whatever he wants doesn't happen, because if he does, it might be devastating for everyone else. And then it's a personal endeavor. You want to find Lucian because he took your sister away from you. He shot you, and I mean that's something that you could certainly want payback for. That's not necessarily evil. I mean that's just, again, the avenge or revenge type deal, whichever one you really want to look at. So you go through finding all the heroes. You find the hero strength, Hannah. She later calls herself Hammer because she lives as a monk with her father, but after her father's killed by one of Lucian's men, she kind of disregards the non-violent path her father was preaching for a long time, and she uses her strength. You find Garth, the hero of will, inside the Spire. You have to go there, and you basically pretend to be a guard there for 10 years, a very long time. But you eventually free him, you escape, and then you find, what's his name? The hero's skill. If it comes back to me, I'll certainly just scream it. You find him, you bring them all to the old ruins of the Heroes Guild, and you begin a spell with Teresa, but in the middle of the spell, it seems like it doesn't work. The other three heroes are drained, you're trapped in this white light, and Teresa's gone. Lucian shows up, kidnaps the other three, and pulls another pistol out on you. And then he gives one of the best lines I've ever heard. He's like, "The last time I shot you, it tore my heart out. But you were a child back then. Then again, so was I." I mean, that's just an admittance. Like, back then, he was so new to this. He was so, not pure, but, there was a good part of him, a part that knew that was wrong, a part that knew that doing this was not what anyone would have wanted. But at this point, he's like, "I've come too far. I've done too much to be a child anymore. I am evil by any definition of the word, and I will stop you." He shoots you, you think you're dead, but then you appear as the young child again in sort of like this dream world, and your sister's there. You're in a house, you're on a farm, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and your sister tells you your parents will be home by nightfall, and that's kind of a weird thing, but you kind of go along with it. You do a few things on the farm, you go to bed, then you start hearing music in the distance, and your sister's like, "Don't go, just stay in bed." And even though you have to go and follow the music, it kind of gives this very powerful illusion of choice. You can either choose to stay in this dream world, and sort of give up your quest of being a hero. I mean, you get what you ultimately might have wanted. You get your sister back. You get this happy home. You get parents, evidently. Or you can choose to follow the music and go back to the real world. And the real world the way back to the real world is not pretty. I mean, finding the music box, you have to go through all these bodies and swords and everything. And then you find the music box that you used so many years ago. You grab it, and it sort of takes you through the events of your life. Shows how your hero, your character, has evolved through all these choices, through all this, all the decisions you made in your life. And it's definitely a very powerful tool. And Teresa transports you to the Spire, and then this is where the game does horribly at this point. I'll explain what the game did, and then I'll explain what I would have done differently to certainly try to improve it. You go into the main center of the Spire, you find Lucian, he's draining the other three heroes. He seems like he's really close. And how does Fable 2 decide to finalize this conflict? Hold up your music box to him for about 10 seconds, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. The power is deactivated, whatever he was trying to do. He vows that he'll never stop, and either you or the hero's skill, this is going to kill me. I'm just going to make one 5-second video where I just scream his name because I've just forgotten. And you or the hero's skill can hit him, he falls down the Spire, and is never seen again. That, to me, just craps on one of the main points of this journey. It's been a dual purpose. You've been on this journey for two reasons: to save the world and sort of solve a personal endeavor, and it just seems like it just tossed it aside like nothing. Like, this has never been about your own personal feelings. I mean, when you play a video game like this, you have to invest yourself. So I invested myself in this character, and then I felt like the character didn't get what he deserved. The character deserved this ultimate fight between him and Lucian to even the score. So here's what I would have done differently. I would have kept everything up to the point where he enters the center. And instead of just arriving like before his ultimate plan, I would have Lucian succeed, at least to the point where he absorbs, not just absorbs energy, but absorbs the three heroes. The Spire begins to split apart. He's about to make his wish, and then everything stops. Lucian asks why, and I would have the Spire speak, and the Spire's like, "I cannot recognize two. There must be one." And Lucian might say, he recognizes the blood in your veins. The Spire recognizes that you as an Archon. I will not allow this. I will be the only Archon of this world. And then there's an epic fight there, and I would have Lucian be sort of mutated. I mean, he's just a regular person to suddenly inhabit all three elements of a hero: strength, skill, and will. I would certainly have him mutate, and I would have it look more Spire-esque. Like, I would have him be this big, rugged, spiky monster and have three orbs on his chest, one blue, one red, one gold, to sort of symbolize will strength and skill. You know, sort of just to symbolize like he is this mutated form, but he has these powers. So then I'd have it be a very difficult fight, and I would use the music box in the element of when you fight Lucian, you weaken him enough, you might see like the centerpiece glowing, and you hold up the music box, and instead of just having the music box, take away everything, the music box would draw out a hero at a time, and I would do it in the order you found them. So Hannah or Hammers first, you pull her out, then she can help you, and then it just keeps going on there. You pull out all three heroes, you keep fighting, finally you defeat Lucian, he's lying dead. He's like, all I wanted was to see my family again, which is why he did everything. He lost his family, and he was building the Spire to bring them back or change the world to a world where they existed. So, very dangerous wish in terms of what it might do. So, he's like, I wanted my family back. I wanted to see them again. And then I would end that fight with a scene of, you kind of see a silhouette of his family, his spirit leave his body, and him join them. So, and that's how I'd end that fight. And then the second part I did not like. The wish. The wish makes absolutely no sense. After you, going back to the original ending, after you defeat Lucian, Teresa shows up and is like, the Spire has enough magical energy for one wish. Well, I thought we established in the beginning that making a wish on the Spire was dangerous at best. Why is it fine for me to do so? The last Archon, whatever he wished for, maybe to make the world new, maybe to wipe it away, this is a dangerous device. Why is it okay to wish? Anyways. The three wishes are sacrifice. Your family was killed right before Lucian shoots you. And he explains, your family's dead. You have nothing left. He shoots your dog. Very depressing. If you choose sacrifice, then all the people who died to build the Spire come back. But no one in your family and your dog will remain dead. If you choose loved ones, or love, you bring back your family, you bring back your dog, and you do bring back your sister. I believe you bring back your sister an either wish, because technically she did die for the sake of building the Spire, but I digress. But if you do that, you don't bring any of the people who died back, so it's sort of like the moral ambiguous one. I mean, you did lose these things, and you should have the right to get them back, but at the same time, you have the option of bringing everyone back and sort of sacrificing your own personal family to bring them all back. And then the third wish is wealth. You gain 1,000,000 gold pieces, which is exactly how much you need to buy Bowerstone Castle. Sort of the ultimate evil wish. I mean, there's no moral ambiguity there. I mean, it's either good, you bring back everybody but your family. Love, you kind of bring back everybody that's important to you. Not necessarily selfish, but it can be seen that way, so sort of a moral gray area. And then the ultimate evil, make the wish on for wealth, personal gain. And then, like I said, the theme that the game set up very early on was that to make a wish on the Spire was dangerous. The last time and the only other time it was ever used, it destroyed almost everything. So then why would the game have main focus of the ending be, oh, you can make a wish, it's okay, nothing bad's gonna happen? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. It's like saying, you can't eat the Doritos are toxic, and then before the end of the party, you can eat the Doritos. It's toxic to everyone else, not you. That makes no sense. It completely ruins the theme of the Spire being this big, dangerous tool, and instead it's like, well, if it's wielded by the right person, it doesn't matter. That, to me, is, if that was true, then that should have been a theme throughout the game. But it's not. It's just a final thing to kind of throw in there, and to me, it doesn't work. I'm fine with the choices for the wishes, but I'm not happy with the wish itself. Story-wise, it makes no sense. It conflicts with the theme of what the Spire is. The Spire is dangerous. It's not helpful. No matter what you wish for, it's gonna hurt somebody, and it's gonna hurt everybody, I should say. So it's just not something I enjoyed. So, Fable 2 is what they did wrong. I mean, the good beginning, great story. I really had no issues with it, and then at the end, the final conflict between what it's been building up to, very anticlimactic, and then the theme of the Spire being dangerous, completely thrown away in my opinion. It is just done so terribly. It's not even funny. It kind of hurts a little bit. Well, that was my analysis. Again, check out my blog, Coleman Boring at WordPress.com. It has everything I just said and probably a little more. Um, if you like this video, comments, favorite, please do whatever. Try not to subscribe. Like I said, I borrowed this camera from Walsh. I'll borrow it from the school. I'll try to rent it again in the near future to make more videos if this kind of picks up, but no promises. This is probably going to be it for a little bit. I'm going to make a third video on Fable 3. Fable 3 is more of a meh. It gave me an ending, but I wasn't too happy with it. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Shadow Spartan 00 out.